everybody, welcome back to another episode of Joe and Jay Outspoken. This week, we're going over the aversion of DEI.
Crazy.
So, yeah.
Crazy.
Ooh, this is going to be a good subject.
Well, you know, that's one of my favorite topics is DEI. You know, I think we talk about it every episode. So it's kind of important to me. Really, it's hit home. It really hits home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our HR department's going to be pissed right now.
God, I hope they don't see this.
But deuces.
Here we go.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks again for tuning in this week. You know, if you didn't see last week's episode, definitely check it out.
It's good. It was good. It was a good episode.
It was a good one.
Oh,
it was a good one. Yeah. And, yeah, so this week we're going over the, aversion of DEI and like, what is the definition of that, Joe? So, I mean, you know, the DEI programs, and for folks that don't know about it, it's the diversion,
So it's
diversity, equity, and inclusion. Right. So HR departments and companies in general all over the country are pushing to have this as a, you know, the new standard of hiring practices and how things are ran in the company and everything. And, you know, part of it, I get it. I understand, you know, they want everything to be try to make it fair and equal and everything. But the problem with it is that's not what it's doing.
So
right.
The initiative of DEI was aimed to create an environment for individuals, regardless of their background, right? And when we say regardless of the background meaning their financial status, their color, their height, right? Anything like that, regardless of that, this initiative was for them to feel valued, respected, right? And to have equal access to opportunities, right? Because
equal access to opportunities. Perfect.
Right. So because clearly that wasn't happening, right? Because affirmative action didn't take care of that. Right? It was doing a great job with that. But that's what the initiative started. So was there good intention behind it? Yes. However,
like so many things,
right? But again,
the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Remember that. So now, when it was probably mastermind, it probably had good intentions, but like everything that the left does, it was managed incorrectly.
Oh yeah,
you know, and I say the left because this is an initiative from the left. I don't, you know, we could sit here back and forth all day, you and I, and discuss the problems, right? But again, the problems are equal on both sides, right? Some more prevalent than others, depending on where you stand and how you look at it. But in the time that this has started, now, earlier today, you and I were having a conversation about where did we go wrong? When did we have the downhill spiral begin for all this craziness with binary, non-binary, trans fluid, you know, just all those. I don't even, bro, there's like 150s. I don't even know. Anyway,
I want to be Bumblebee if I'm going to be a transformer. So,
well, you know, I identify as 6 foot, and that still doesn't get me into the NBA. But
wow.
But here's the thing. It because of that, because we focus on people, and so again, we said exactly that. You know, it helps develop opportunities there with the equals, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, they're more focused on people's feelings than anything else, right?
Yeah.
And emotions, on how you feel, safe spaces, blah blah blah. Like everything is catered to a certain group. So now, just with that little bit of information, DI is out the window, right? Because now it's not everybody. Now it's only a certain group. Right. So where's the diversity, right? Where's the equity and where's the inclusion and all that? When you take one group and boost them up, right? And then in the process, knock down others, where's the DEI in that? You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Yeah. And that's the problem with this whole thing is that So some of the definitions, if you read out there for the aversion, portion of DEI, is that like all the white people in society are basically up in arms against it because it is crumbling their, the white hierarchy. Yeah. So they're not going to be able to rule and that's not the case. I mean, yeah, we've talked about this many times about, people being racist or bigots or whatever. And
that's everybody.
And you're going to, man.
In every society.
Well, yeah, every society, you're never going to be able to get rid of that completely amongst all races. And, there are societal places like, Haiti and the Dominican Republic, dude, they're building a wall. The Dominican Republic is building a wall because they do not like the Haitians at all. And so,
well, there's a lot of that goes on that we don't see that because no one really cares outside of that because it's going to kill the narrative of everybody else.
That's right.
like right now, if you look in the news, and I'm sorry guys that we get off subject real quick, but it happens a lot. In the news, you see all these people from like Honduras and Ecuador, wherever in Mexico, complaining about the food that Mexicans are giving them while they're there illegally.
Right.
And I'm like, you could always go back.
Yeah.
Always go back. Because I'm sure that you're not being persecuted by your government.
Exactly.
You just want better opportunities, which I see, but do it the right way. Right. So I don't want to get into that. That's a whole different category. But what's happened in this since that happened, and of course, they started that DEI process, and everybody's like jumping in and like, oh yeah, this is great. Why? Because we totally eradicated what was the other one I just talked about that took the place of it. Affirmative action.
Oh, affirmative action. Yeah.
Come on, you're supposed to be on the same page.
Yeah.
So anyway, once they eradicated affirmative action, clearly wasn't helping. Right. They started this DEI. Right. They put it out that these big companies invested big money. The LGBT community, not them precisely, but that big organization that gives companies points, cities, government points to see how diverse you are. It's really targeted for just like LGBT community. It's not really about everyone else. It's just that group. Right. So again, that goes out because that's not DEI. DEI should be everyone. Right.
Yeah.
So, and then COVID hit. Right. So then now you have all these people, secured in homes. They can't go out. They can't interact. So we get that mental health issue going down. And then we open back up and we go right to the crying, right? Everybody's like, unjust. And like you as a Republican, you can't even, or a conservative, I should say, you can't even sit there and talk about religion because now it's against DI policy or it's against, you can't do that. You're making them feel not safe in their environment. Well, how about the stuff they say? That doesn't make me feel safe. But if I say anything, I'm homophobic.
Right.
Or if I say, what the hell? Oh, you're transphobic or you're Mexican phobic.
Scanning for Mexicans. We've got a Mexican.
Or, whatever it is.
Yeah.
In that. So how is something that's supposed to be something that includes the word inclusion, equity, diversity, be so none of those? None of them.
Right.
None of them are what it says to be.
Right.
So explain that to me.
Well, they've twisted.
You're the smart one in this relationship. Explain that to me.
Well, they've twisted every single bit of that, to fit social narratives. Really, is what it is. So, and what's popular in social narratives right now? Well, the Rainbow Coalition is extremely popular. So
I used to love rainbows before. No, I do not.
So if you can jump on that ship, that's a really big deal. Even with BLM having all the scrutiny that it's had with everything it's had.
I'm tired of talking about that.
I know. And the thing is, it's still, there's so many people that are behind that and still back that whole thing, which just blows my mind.
Yeah.
And you know what? Yeah. If somebody said, hey, listen, we're done with BLM, we're going to go for like, Black American studies or whatever. And I'm tired of them saying stuff like African American, because there's a lot of Black Americans that don't stem from Africa, right? There's other countries in the world that have folks of black skin origin, right?
Mexicans.
So yeah, and I just mentioned a little bit ago, like Haiti and the Dominican Republic.
Oh, you mean like
here.
that? Okay, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, well, and so what are you saying, that only people that have dark skin that come from African descent are, part of that? It becomes really silly. You're trying to break this whole thing apart. And the HR departments are fearing now, because there's so much pushback. There's a statistic that there's like 44% of people that have been surveyed for all the DEI policies are actually strongly against it, because they don't like the idea that you're going to give certain people or certain classes this advantage in other classes, because you don't fit in any of these special little circles, that you don't get any of those advantages. So it's no longer the best worker. And this is the fear. Like we've seen this stuff recently with like the airlines, where they're saying it's the airline is it's an all women crew, or it's an all black crew, or whatever the case may be.
And that's the thing. Why do you have to emphasize like it's all black? Like, first off, there's a lot of black pilots,
right?
But again, it's also a choice,
right?
Like if there's a black Air Force pilot who says, "Yeah, I don't want to be a pilot anymore," and he doesn't, that's his choice.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? People go into the careers that they want to, not the ones that are easy to get to, because I'm sure being a pilot's not easy at all, right? So if they don't want to do it or pursue it, how is that a DEI issue?
Right.
People go into what they want to do, if they like it or not. The opportunities are there, especially the military folks, because they get all the training.
Yeah.
And so they have it. So when I see that, because I saw that, all black crew, like, how about a all safe crew? How about that?
Yeah, that's the plane I want to fly.
How about a plane where the door doesn't blow out?
That doesn't. Oh my gosh! So
that plane was built by all white people. That's why that door blew off.
Yeah.
Now we're going to diversify those mechanics,
yeah.
And we're going to put some Mexicans in there because they know how to put doors and take them off. And we're going to get come on, man. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Well, so, and this is my opinion, but I believe most people would kind of feel this way about things, that when you say that it's because somebody was male or female or transgender, or because of the color of their skin, because they are Mexican or white or black or Asian or what have you, that's some of the most racist things that you can say, or sexist, when you use that. So here's an example. Back in the 1950s, there's a thing called in 50s and 60s, there was the space race, right? Mm-hmm. Between the United States and, at the time, the Soviet Union.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, Russia got into space. They got Sputnik up there. And then what was the dog's name? Liney. They actually have a statue of that dog in Russia now. Stalin. But they got the first, what did they say? Cosmonaut, right? The first cosmonaut into space. And as soon as we got the first people, what was it? The first astronauts into space. So when the first female went up, what did they say? She wasn't an astronaut. She was the first female astronaut in space. The first time we had anybody of color, what did they say? The first black astronaut. Right?
We even went as low as, like, low meaning categorized, first teacher in space.
First teacher, yes. So here's the thing. Why wasn't the first people that got into space, so like Neil Armstrong, when they say he was the first white guy into space? Why didn't they say that? Because nobody gives a crap about your color when you're the first of anything, right? Yeah. Nobody cares about what country you're from or whatever. At that time, of course,
they shouldn't.
What's that?
They shouldn't, man.
We shouldn't. You know what? If the best person that does something is of a specific color or specific sex or race or religion or whatever, who gives a crap? They were the first and they were the best, at whatever they do. And that's the problem, is that, in my opinion, the most racist people in this country right now, or most bigoted people and the most sexist people, or whatever you want to call them, are the people that keep pushing all this nonsense about race, about religion, about sex and everything else. And not just because
I remember when sex was about male or female. not about how you liked it. Remember? That how you liked it part was like in the bedroom.
And exactly. Behind closed doors in the bedroom.
Right. So I was reading, I was strolling through social media looking for, I was looking for nothing. I was just scrolling through it. And I saw this little, I saw this little question under a Hispanic channel that I follow. And it said, what did it say? It said, imagine, Mexicans saying, hey, let's go to a white man's restaurant tonight. And I'm thinking, and then it said, what do you think? How do you think that would go? And I'm thinking to myself, that's the stupidest thing ever.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like, why would you even say that? Let's go to, I mean, in that case, to say, hey, let's go to Del Taco, let's go to McDonald's, let's go to, you know, that's just an American restaurant. Let's go to Denny's, right? Let's go to IHOP. You know, those are American restaurants. That you're not going to say, hey, let's go to a white man's. Let's go to white man's. You're going to say Mexican. You have no other choice. Hey, let's go to, what are you going to say? Let's go to those illegal guys' restaurant. You know, this is a problem with society. Everyone loves to bring in race. It's not about race, man. It's about culture.
And white isn't a race.
No,
so you know.
No, because if we want to get down to the nitty gritty, and I know a lot of Mexicans out there are going to say, like, you're wrong. Look it up. We are Caucasian,
right? When you're checking those boxes off for employment and stuff like that,
we're Caucasian. That's why I ask Caucasian, non-Hispanic, right? Because you're Caucasian, right? So get that stigma out of your head. So to me, it's like. Don't base it on race. It's not about white boys or Mexicans or beaners, however you want to call us. But it's
I
about
did not say that.
It's about it's okay. It's about culture, right? Let's go. You're not gonna say let's go to the Sicilian guys joint, right? Let's go to the mafia guys. No, you can say let's go to Italian restaurant.
Yeah, let's go have Italian.
Let's go. Yeah. We're not gonna go to let's go to Mr. Chen's restaurant. No, you're gonna go. Let's go to get some Chinese food, right?
Yeah,
you know. So you have no other option. You know, hey, let's go to Senor Lopez's house over there. No, you're gonna go. Let's go to Mexican restaurant.
You know,
it's a culture. It's not a race. It's not a culture.
Color. See, and that's a big thing. And Joe and I had this discussion a little earlier. We were on the road, and we were talking about this very thing. And so white is not a race. So just like Joe said, if you want to go have Mexican food, or you want to go have Peruvian food, or you want, you want to go have Brazilian. Okay. These are all people that then there's stuff that's made fun of, you know, white people look at somebody from Brazil and somebody from Mexico, and they're all Mexican. Right? But these are all individual.
Just like we see your double baked potato and say, like, that is delicious. How did you ever think of that?
So all of these are different cultures, right? And you say specifically, I'm going to go have Mexican, I'm going to have Brazilian food, I'm going to have Peruvian food. Same thing with Asian cultures. There is a group of Asians, right, where you would say, like, there's a group of white people, but not all Asian people are the same. If you go to
they don't all like each other.
They don't. You go to Japanese food, you go to Chinese food, you go to Thai food,
Vietnamese,
right? Vietnamese, yeah,
Filipino, which is close to Mexicans, by the way.
So white would be the same thing. What are you going to go have? You're going to go have German food or French or English, you know, you're going to have bangers and mash.
But that's not even white food. That's German food. That's Polish food. That's so like here in America, we're like, we even have different cultures in America. Food from the South is different from food from the East Coast.
Yeah, that's right.
And different from the West Coast. So like, hey, let's go have some Southern.
So what is white food?
There's no such thing.
There's no such thing.
There's American food.
There's American food.
Just like there's Mexican food. There is no such thing as
because the
food.
Problem with
that's
it is
the ignorance of people.
That's the very big ignorance of people.
The DEI people.
Yeah. So I worked with a young lady of color years ago.
You could say black. I allow you to say black as a minority and representative.
And we were just, of course, you know, like we always do. I was talking to her about food, and she
damn Gordy cakes,
Gordy's. And so she was asking, like, what's some of your favorite foods, or something came up at the time my grandmother was alive, and she was asking about like kind of food she fixed and stuff. And I said, well, she makes really good biscuits and gravy, and then her greens are awesome. And she's like, greens? What kind of greens? And I was like, well, mustard and collard greens. And she's like, what? And she said, do You know what black eyed peas are? And I'm like, yeah, we have them for
Southern
New Year's. It's Southern. It's a Southern American food. So the thing is this has nothing to do with the color of his skin. This was white and black people that were from the South.
Absolutely.
And I actually just made a mistake by saying that. This was anybody that lived in the South.
Yeah, because my grandma was from Southern Texas, and they also same food right there. They had the same thing.
And that's why in Texas, they have, so a lot of the Mexican people, they created Tex-Mex food because this was an amalgamation of, Mexican food with the American
big word.
Food.
I didn't that. I'm stunned.
I pulled that one. That's no more big words
Where
today.
Did that one come from?
I don't have any more. That was my one uno word for the day. So yeah, the culture of America. So you take, like, people will say, well, hot dogs are American. Well, that's a German.
That's German food,
right? A German food, but we kind of made it weird, right? We just dumbed it down.
We threw chili on it.
We threw chili on it and cheese and put it. And if you go to Italy and the actual pizzas and stuff that they make compared to the pizzas here,
different.
And Chinese food, there is no such thing as orange chicken in China. They don't eat that, right? But we consider that
there's orange chicken in Mexico, but that's the seasoning. It's really good. Yeah.
But so all of these things, America, the cultures and races, if you want to say that, and all that.
Cultures, bro.
Cultures, have come in, right, and have adapted to what because the ultimate thing is, I'll go back to like Chinese food. I remember going to a place in LA when they had just opened. It was a beautiful, beautiful restaurant. I mean, it looked like they spent a ton of money to open this place. And it was an old furniture store, and they ripped everything out of there and they turned it into a restaurant. So it was way bigger than it needed to be. Anyhow, they were serving like head on duck. So like they'd bring the duck out to the table and have the whole thing. The head was on it and everything. And I remember telling my Vietnamese friend, I said, hey man, this is not going to go over. And he's like, this is authentic. This is like legit Chinese food. And I said, the problem is that people in the United States I don't care what color they are or where, they don't understand this, right? So yeah, your legit Chinese people are going to say, oh, this is great. We like this food. And guess what? Within a year, they were closed because
what's funny? I took one of my Anglo friends.
You can say white.
Oh, thank you. So I took one of I was a little nervous. I took one of my white friends to a Mexican restaurant, like a Sonoran restaurant,
Gringo cracker,
a Sinaloa restaurant. And you've had it, deep fried tilapia, right?
Oh yeah,
They bring it out, right? I order,
toss it in the oil.
I bring it. They bring it out. I'm ready. He's sitting there.
He's pick away,
bro. The eyes are still in it. I'm like, yeah, bro. The head, everything's the whole thing. I gotta get the
fry the whole thing.
I go, the fins are still here. Everything's here, bro. It's a whole fish. I go, you don't want to see how we cook the pig, bro. You don't. We use everything, right? But it's again, that's a culture. So here's the thing. Like in the U.S. and in every part of the world, there's culture, and then it's the food then is subcategorized, and I'm talking about food, is then subcategorized into regions. Always. Right? In the regions. Right. Because in Mexico, how you eat menudo are very different and distinct within different states.
They have
right?
white and red.
Some are white, some are red, some are even green. And how they do it. Some add hominy, so others add even more stuff to it. Everything's different, but it's still called menudo. Right. Just different stuff. How we call there could be for example, a bistec ranchero, right? You could have all the vegetables in there and the meat.
Welcome to the Food Network.
Yeah, thank you, guys. And gentlemen. But my point is that that steak ranchero could be called the same thing in another region of Mexico, but it's made totally different. Yeah, right. Some could add cactus into it. Some don't. It's just different. The point being that we're so focused on race that in reality, there's more diversity amongst each race than there is amongst all the races. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's just the way it is. And so let me just say a few things. The diversity, how we know it, the DEI that we know now that's been that replaced affirmative action is a cult. It's not a benefit to anybody, especially minorities. It's a cult. So in the UK, let me just say some things that I looked up the other day. In the UK, right? This is so the white side of the globe, right?
In the European Union.
Recruitment for both the Royal Navy and the Royal Marines has dropped 22.1% compared to previous years, right? So
curious.
You want to know why?
Yeah, I want to know why.
The Royal Marines are required to presumably select one of 56 available genders. 56 available genders. So,
wow. What bathroom do they use?
Here's the thing. And here's the thing. That's happening in the U.S. too.
Yeah.
Recruitment in the U.S. military has dropped significantly.
Of course it has.
And now we're having issues trying to recruit people into the military because of the DEI.
Right.
You're looking to fill these spots where, we're talking about, hey, guys, this is about equality for everybody, not just a specific group, everybody. Right. But it shouldn't be based on your color of your skin, the percentage of how many blacks there are, Mexicans, or anything like that. It should be based on your qualifications. That's where the equity should come. Yeah. Right. The equality of things should be your knowledge.
That's right.
And find diversity within that. You know what I mean? But now you're risking. Again, you're risking low recruitment rates in the military. You're risking safety in companies that make things, whatever, right? And all in the name of what? Race? That is wrong. That is just so wrong, right? And what did affirmative action do? It got people that were minorities and give them special privileges. It's like, hey, you know what? Yes, the state says you're required to get 98%. But because affirmative action and because you're Mexican, you could get 85 and you'll be fine, right? How does that helping that student?
It doesn't. It doesn't. I mean, you're putting underqualified people into positions that. So there's a couple of things to that. In school, these people are, whoever it is, they're always going to feel less than, right? And it's easier, and we see it already. The teachers in the education system are telling these people, well, you're always going to have a deficit against you because of the color of your skin.
That's a lie.
Or because
that's the propaganda.
It is huge propaganda.
We're going to have a problem with it because you're a dum-dum.
Yeah. The thing is that, so somebody of your same skin color, you pick a skin color, right? And two people of the same skin color, one could have got into college or the job on their own merits, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yet they
common sense.
And yet they have this specialty system that scores them. It's a bell curve or whatever that scores everything lower for them, so it's easier for them to get in. The person that's next to them wouldn't have normally made it in, but they get in because of this special treatment. How does that make that person feel that actually did work hard and made it in? And they're like, well, I didn't have to work so hard because, dum-dum over here didn't have to work hard. So, we're not held to the same standard as these other people. So
that's the key right there, is a standard.
Yeah.
Why should standards change because of the color of your skin?
Right.
That's racist.
Well, it was kind of like the whole military thing when they started allowing women in. Now, me personally,
someone needed to clean those barracks. Just kidding.
Wow.
I'm just kidding, ladies.
The food got a lot better since they've started off. So the biggest thing that was a big
HR, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say.
Yeah, the big thing that was a big concern was, so like in Army and Marines where they had to carry these big packs, they said, well, they're women, they won't be able to carry as much, so we're going to lighten their packs. And it's like, so you're going to have her go out in the field with less stuff than what she needs, right? Because everybody needs the same thing while they're out in the field, whether it's their, it's a rucksack, right? It's got whatever they have in it.
So you know where DEI comes in? Hey, make the men carry more of it so the woman doesn't have to. That's the DEI process.
Yeah. And see, if I'm in the military and the person in the bunk above me or below me or whatever the case is, I don't care if it's a male or a female or if you're a transgender or what color your skin is, what religion you are. The only thing I care about is that you will have my back and everybody else's back as much as we will have yours. And you'll be able, like, if I have to drag you out of a trench or you have to drag me out of a trench, we need
it's not going to happen. First off, we need to lose weight because ain't no one pulling nobody out of no trench. I'll tell you that right now. I'm just going to,
it's just a little taco weight. Okay.
Like, hey, I'm just going to cover you with some dirt. You'll be fine.
You'll be fine. Just hide. Don't breathe too much. We'll come back with the tow truck and
come back in about 20 to 30 minutes. Here's a ding dong.
But oh god, just so you all know, they have the new Twinkie ding dongs out. I'm just saying,
man, wow. We still can't find them.
We can't find them. They're sold out everywhere.
If you do,
not that we looked or anything like that, but
not that we went to 3 stores. 3 stores, okay? That's not us. We don't have problems.
So now we have to rely on this person that came into the military based on some kind of DEI specialty program, and they can't drag us out of a ditch, right? And here's my biggest thing with it. A lot of these people, unfortunately, have, and this isn't for everybody in the whole DEI system, but a lot of these folks that are being brought up to believe a lot of the nonsense truly have some mental issues, right? And
I think the ones creating these programs have mental issues.
Oh man,
they have a very low self-esteem. They have a lot of issues. But I'm glad you're talking about the hiring process when it comes to diversity or to the DEI. DEI to me, hiring practices focuses on race, right, and not compatibility required by the job at all, none at all, not whatsoever. Because if you fit that one, all you need to fit it. Do you remember back in jobs when you needed okay, you know how to read, you know how to write, yep. There's a checklist of things you need to know. Oh, you don't know how to, you don't know. You don't know DOS. You don't know. Okay. Well,
you lift 40 pounds,
right?
Or 45 pounds.
Like, in this job, you need to, know how to program.
Stand or sit for a while or whatever. Yeah.
That now they look at someone like, oh, you know what? He's a minority. He's good to go. Hey, welcome. Start tomorrow. Right. And that why? I mean,
I don't want to fly in that plane.
Man. Earn it. That's what you need to do. Right. So DI is similar to affirmative action, but in a larger scale. Much larger scale. Right now, they're like taking it and like, you know what? Let's just make it big. Let's make it global. Because now they can't stop it. We can't just do affirmative action in schools because that's where it was in schools. They're like, just globalize this, do it in the workforce, do it everything because, we want to make sure that everyone knows it's race, right? Which is not. It's nothing about race.
Let me ask you in itself.
Let me ask you this. I am a minority. I don't know if you know this. I am Mexican.
I never knew that.
Yeah, I'm Mexican. So,
that's why you make tacos so good.
Thank you. But let me ask you this: because I'm being Mexican, right, and I know how to, let's say, fly a helicopter, would you, as an astronaut, be comfortable with me flying the shuttle? Just because I got the job because I'm Mexican?
No.
I would be comfortable flying it. Dude, I'm like, look, man, I appreciate it. Let me do like navigation or something like that.
Yeah.
Let me just sweep the bathroom. I'll be cool. You know what I mean? I don't even have to fly it. You know what I mean? I'm cool. But that's what they're doing. They're basically saying, hey, look, you're not qualified, but we'll get you qualified. And they never do. They'll never qualify somebody. They'll never spend the time to teach them. But how about this? How about earn it? How about earn it by merit? Earn it by learning? How about say, hey, look, you don't fit the qualification, right? And here's the other half to that. People are scared to tell them, hey, you don't fit the qualification. It's because I'm black. It's because I'm Mexican. It's because right away.
Trans.
And so companies like going in panic mode. Oh my God, they're going to sue us. We're going to, that's fear number 2. All right. The problem here with all this is that none of that. Come on, man. Before in high school, everyone joked about everybody, right? And it wasn't about, oh, that's racist. No, we just joked. We just talked a lot of crap. That's what we did.
Yeah, we identified ourselves as the groups we were in. So if you were football,
the stoners or the athletes or the musicians, right?
Drama people,
the drama people,
or chess club.
Yeah,
Mecha.
The what club?
The chess club.
Oh man, I heard chess. I'm like, what club was that?
We didn't have a chess club, did we? Or did we?
There was a group of girls that had some big chests.
Okay, then. So
I called them a group, but no, we didn't. We didn't have that. But the whole point of what I'm saying is that
I just lost my whole train of thought.
So you're taking away the intellectual and psychiatric abilities of people to do a job, right? A mental ability and a physical ability, intellectual ability to do a job, and giving it to someone who has less than that. Now, depending on what the job is that horrible? No, right? But can it be? Yeah, it can be, right? You can't do that. So let me say FFA. You know who the FAA? Not FFA, FAA. You know who they are, right?
Not Future Farmers.
Not Future Farmers. They don't want aviators.
Well, that's what they're going to put in if you're the right color or identification.
So the Federal Aviation Agency.
Yes, FAA.
They want to hire more people. This is not a lie. You can look it up. Fox News had it. They want to hire more people with severe intellectual and psychiatric disabilities.
Wow.
I'm not lying. And where exactly they want to put them, I don't know. Right? The FAA needs to kind of say that, but that's kind of scary.
Yeah.
You know, like, wait a minute, these people that fly, they're in charge of yeah, no, I'm good. You know what I mean?
Are they flying a plane? Are they control tower? You know?
Yeah.
And somebody might say, well, maybe they're just having them load luggage. I don't want them loading my luggage either, man.
It's okay. It's bad enough that it's already bad enough people lose it. I don't want it to have the chance of getting lost even more.
Yeah.
But no, we'll put it up and so you can see it. But it's a real article. So here's the thing. Do you want somebody to, and this goes for everybody, right? Your delivery person, your pilot, your doctor, your anything like that. Do you want that hired person, that person that's going to tell you, diagnose you, the person that, not that they do a great job anyway, a pilot, a teacher, whatever. Do you want the hiring process to be prioritized by intellectual equality, or do you want it to be matched by DEI? That's what you need to ask yourself. Where do we want the priority to be? Right? Do I feel safe with people who have intellectual and psychiatric disabilities? I do not feel safe with that.
No.
I don't care where you put them, right? You can put them in the bathroom, right? To clean the bathrooms, right? But are other people in danger? You know, we were talking about psychiatric disabilities. That's the cuckoos. So
that's just insane that we would even
have to talk about it.
Yeah, have to talk about it.
So, you know, there's an actor. His name is Clifton Duncan. He's a black actor. And he recently had denounced the practice of diversity hiring, saying that it's racist. This is a black actor, right?
And it is.
It's extremely racist, right? But again, everyone jumps into that fear. Look what happened to Disney. Disney's like trying to change everything about diversity and inclusion. Instead of focusing on background stories, on things like you and I, when we were young and we saw Cinderella, when you and I saw, The Lion King and all those things, they were specific. They came from books that were specific about Rapunzel. You can't put a brunette with short hair in there, right? Because that's not what the storyline is,
right?
So these are things that are taken from books. Right. That are then created into cartoons and then sometimes into live action.
Yeah.
You can't change that. Well, you can't impact, this is the problem that we have. Like when they did that Cinderella, it was Cinderella in the what is it? Snow White and the
Seven Dwarfs.
And the seven Dwarfs. So that girl they totally bombed this movie anyway. Like you can't even say that anymore because they weren't dwarfs. They were like normal sized people. Right. And like, even the dwarfs were like, hey, that's our job.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
That's, and the thing is that bugs me about, what's the Little Mermaid? They redid that and they had the girl that did it. And the thing that sucks, and we said this on one of our other episodes, is that the people, so that young girl that played Ariel, was all like, this is the way it needs to be, and we need to start changing the thing. Her and everybody else needs to be pissed that they recycled an old movie.
Why don't you create one?
Why didn't if Disney cares that much about ethnicity and everything, then create a movie for black people, for Mexican people, for Asian people.
Could you imagine now, in the society that we live in, if you redo live animation of Pocahontas and you put a white girl in there? What would happen?
Yeah, and that would be stupid. I think it would be really stupid. Mulan. What culture is that?
Mexican.
He doesn't watch Disney movies. So Mulan, very specific movie.
Oh, I thought you said Mula because that's what we call our kids.
Oh,
our especially our little daughters.
So Coco.
Oh,
that was a great movie. All kinds of people. You didn't have to be Mexican to watch Coco. You didn't have to be Asian or Chinese to watch Mulan. You didn't have to be Native American to watch Pocahontas.
You didn't have to be a mermaid to watch A Little Mermaid.
That's right. But the thing, and what was the Brave? That was the Scottish girl. Or whatever.
Yeah.
So Disney, if you guys really care about diversity and all that stuff, start making movies with all these, because people will go and watch them. When you try to change these old stories, like don't make Mulan a Mexican girl next time, right?
Yeah.
Don't make
with a chancla. You know what I mean? Like,
no,
you know what I mean? Those
she's
swords, all chancla,
in a stirring spoon.
Yeah,
wooden spoon.
Damn, bro.
Yeah. So there was in 2021, there was a deal done for this whole DEI thing, and they did a survey. 44% of employees had said that their colleagues and themselves, they felt alienated because of DEI practices. 44%. So almost half of your employees now feel that they're alienated because they don't fit into these groups. Now you're saying, oh, well, it's only white people, and they're fearful because they're losing their, status at the top or whatever. That's not who it is. Okay. So the more boxes that you can check off, the more you're up on this scale. So, and there's certain boxes that you can check that are more important than the box below it. Okay. So if you are right now, the best box you can check off is anything in the rainbow community, right?
Does it matter if it's binary or non-binary?
Rainbow community, period.
I'm taking notes because I'm going to take notes.
Okay.
I'm getting hired tomorrow as president of Harvard.
And the thing is, the woman checkbox used to be pretty high up there. You know why it's not there anymore? Because the woman's identifier isn't important anymore, right? Because anybody can identify as a woman.
What is a woman?
Yeah. So now that got knocked down. Now, the darker your skin color is, the higher up you are on the checkmark box.
Good luck, brother.
The only exception with that would be Asian folks. They get knocked down with the white folks. Women would be just slightly above that.
Here's one. A black albino.
Black albino. Transgender. That would be a box.
Dude.
That would be a box to check off right there. You would probably get any job you wanted. You could fly the space shuttle with no previous experience.
Man, I'm gonna have to find. I'm gonna have to get my Mexican people up there higher. I gotta get some under 5 foot, 200 pounds. You're up the top. You're at the top.
And the fatties got their own checkbox too. So, there's all these things.
It's hip to be obese.
Right. And so all of these things create this issue. There's a group that whenever you check on it, it automatically knocks you down from any of the other groups you're in. And you know what that is? A straight male.
Straight white male.
Well, straight male of any kind.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So white's the worst of all the checkmark boxes.
Well, yeah.
But straight male is the worst. And we're going to have, we should mention it. We're going to have a new series that we're launching here pretty soon. That's going to come out in the it's going to be the middle Wednesday of every month. And
so mid-month Wednesdays?
Mid-month Wednesdays. Yeah. It's going to be regarding men's mental health and certain other things. And
trust me, you're going to need it after this conversation.
Yeah.
But here's another thing. DEI, and I'm just going to be straight up about it. And correct me if I'm wrong, but DEI is just another word for racism to me. It's the biggest form of racism that we have right now that has crippled so many companies because of the policies. So the problem with the DEI is the framework is that of a oppressor oppressed, right? And that's what it is. That's that mentality they have, you know? So let me give you an example. What was her name? Claudine Gay. She was that Harvard president that stepped down because of her to her handling of that anti-Semitism on campus, right? And they basically, that was caused by DEI because, again, of the oppressor-oppressed framework. You know, they look at the Jews as being the oppressors, right?
Right.
And so she didn't say anything about it. How could you? And that's in any society. It doesn't matter. I mean, there's oppressors, there's the oppressed,
right?
In every society, but you can't sit there and say, "Oh, well, you're the oppressor, so you're bad people," and they're going to allow that. How does that fall into any of these categories of just being even a good person? You know what I mean? But that's what DEI has done. It has created this hatred towards just a normality of existing. To be honest with you, like if you look now in any social media, any platform you want to, you're going to see minorities complaining. I just saw one today where it was a black female who ran a meeting, right? And the boss that was, you know, told her, it's like a white female said, "Hey, good job on that meeting." So she's on the social media platform saying, "I don't know if to take that as a compliment or as a microaggression." I'm like, microaggression. I'm like, where did these words even come from? People like create these words that are so crazy to me nowadays. And I'm thinking, hey, how about this? How about this, Miss Smarty Pants, Miss DEI? How about it's a compliment?
A compliment.
You
It's
know
just
what I mean?
a compliment.
I mean, like, okay, it's getting old, bro. Hey guys, I hate to tell you this, but it's not about race, man. You guys, I mean, if you're a dum dum, you're a dum dum. You know,
that has nothing to do with the color of your skin. It has everything to do with your mental capacity, and
you are allowing people to brainwash you to think that the things that are not normal are normal, and the things that are normal are not. Right? I mean, we had an episode. We talked about the fatty people, right? Because they're glorifying that now. They have terms for that. Like people are using them in catwalks now for modeling and things like that. Where if you remember growing up,
I am not putting a bathing suit and going down the catwalk. Just saying.
Well, let me tell you. Well, I'm so wearing my Speedos on, but let me tell you, there was a time where the Surgeon General, which I don't even know if we even have that anymore, of the United States,
they're probably,
hey, being fat is unhealthy and you can die. Right. Yeah. And then do you remember, I think we were in high school when they changed that whole body mass index, they changed it. And all of a sudden, like people that were chubby became obese.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Because they changed the standards. Yeah. Right. And it was all about, hey, get out there and run, get out there, stay healthy. People were exercising more, blah, blah, blah. But now we're glorifying everything that's wrong, you know, and everything that's supposed to be right. We're cursing it and saying, oh, that's anti, or that's homophobic. That's, minority phobic. That's every phobic you can find, you know, and that's a microaggression. I didn't know how to look that up anyway, but there's just so many things out there that society has. DEI needs to be eradicated from everywhere.
I agree.
Everywhere. And we should start bringing back IQ tests. That's all I'm saying.
Yep. Well,
I wouldn't have a job, but anyway, that's what I'm saying. I don't care.
Yeah. You know, if people haven't learned over the last 2 years here from the mistakes of companies like Disney, like Target, like Bud Light, if they haven't learned these mistakes that they've all done,
for you.
Then there's no hope for you. You know, you got to understand that you want to make money if you're a business off of the entirety of the populace. When you alienate 50+% of the entire population, it's probably not going to go good for you. You know, you're dropping off 50% of your folks that were spending with you. So, but
hey, real quick too, before you exit us out, I think it was I read it somewhere. I think it's Gen Z or one of the gens under us, that 30 or 40% identify now as like non-binary or binary. Like they all have some kind of gender issue.
Yeah.
Well, we call it gender because it's an issue.
It's gender dysphoria of some kind
so
that they have.
over like 40%. Yeah. Because of all this stuff, DEI and social media and Disney with their movies and what's the name with the Bud Light commercial? Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
You know damn well that they were trying to sell the popularity, right?
Right.
And it turned around on them. You know, Target with their little stuff on there about, you know, boys with a pink shirt. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Just stop it.
Yeah.
Just stop it. All right. Well, everybody, thanks for joining us once again. Oh, that was a good time in history. Thanks for joining us again. If you're new here, you can, check out some of our older videos that we have. We'd love for you to subscribe to the channel. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed what you're seeing. If you lasted this long, you've come all the way through the video. So
the link is below. So make sure you get it.
Link is below. Yeah. And, we hope you guys have fun, and we hope to see you again next week, and join us for our new series that is kicking off on Valentine's Day.
Outspoken Men's Edition.
It's
going to be a good one, guys. So make sure you tune in, and we're going to discuss about the stigma of men and emotions and being able to express them, and why don't they? So join us. It's going to be great.
It's going to be really important. So, all right, guys, remember, be good to one another.
Do better. Be better.
And as always,
God bless America. We'll see you.
See ya.